Welcome to the Dodgers Blue News channel. Before the news, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Now, let's get to the Dodgers news.
Hey Dodgers fans! Pay attention, because we've got some hot moves this offseason that could completely change the outlook for our blue team. Today, we're diving into 4 major moves that are on the Dodgers' radar. First name on the list, Jarren Duran. The Boston Red Sox are setting the stage for a possible trade that could bring this talent to Los Angeles. The situation in Boston is getting interesting. The Red Sox made some strategic moves this season, parting ways with starting hitter Rafael Devers and managing to reach the playoffs. Now they seem ready to repeat that formula this winter. Their problem has become our opportunity. Boston is facing a logjam in the outfield. Wiley Abreu, Cedin Rafaela, Roman Anthony, and Jarren Duran are all fighting for playing time. Trade rumors involving Duran were already circulating at the end of last season, but nothing materialized. Now, Jim Bowden, insider from Major League Baseball, believes that this time the talks will become reality. Bowden made it clear that he doesn't fully understand why the Red Sox keep listening to offers for Duran, especially considering they're already projecting a future outfield with Abreu in right, Rafaela in center, and Anthony in left. But Duran's name keeps surfacing behind the scenes, and everything indicates that Boston will finally move him this winter. Let's talk numbers. Duran had an all-star season last year but took a small step back at the plate this season, finishing with a .256/.332/.442/ line. Even so, the guy has elite speed and, most importantly, 3 years of team control before free agency. That makes him a valuable asset. Bowden mentioned several teams interested: the Philadelphia Phillies, Detroit Tigers, Cleveland Guardians, and Texas Rangers. But he specifically highlighted the Los Angeles Dodgers as a particularly intriguing suitor. And honestly, it makes perfect sense for us. The Dodgers have a big question mark in the outfield after the 1-year deal with Michael Conforto didn't work out. Conforto didn't even make the playoff roster, and it's clear we need to return to the market to find a solid outfield option. The best part, with one of the richest farm systems in baseball, the Dodgers have plenty of ammunition to build the kind of trade package that could finally pry Duran out of Boston and bring him to wear Dodger blue. The Los Angeles machine is running, and this might just be the first piece of the puzzle in what promises to be an exciting offseason. Acquiring Duran isn't just an option, it's a strategic necessity for the Dodgers. We're talking about a player who fills a real gap in the roster, that outfield spot that was exposed during the playoffs. His elite speed on the bases completely changes the team's offensive dynamic, creating constant pressure on opposing defenses and opening opportunities for the big hitters in our lineup. Those 3 years of control before free agency are pure gold for the front office. It brings stability, predictability, and the chance to build chemistry with the roster without the pressure of an expiring contract around the corner. The Dodgers wouldn't just be plugging a hole, they'd be investing in a medium-term solution. For Duran, wearing the Dodgers uniform would be a complete career transformation. Leaving a crowded situation in Boston where he's fighting for playing time with 3 other players to become a starter on a team that lives among baseball's elite. We're talking about playing under the lights of Dodger Stadium, competing for the World Series title every year, and having access to one of the best development infrastructures in the sport. The pressure of Boston would be replaced by the opportunity of Los Angeles. Duran would have the chance to reinvent himself, to return to that all-star level he once showed, surrounded by championship veterans and a system that knows how to get the best out of every player. For someone in his position, this move could be exactly the spark needed to reignite that offensive explosion we've seen from him before. Now let's talk about Freddy Peralta, and this one's big, Dodgers fans. The Dodgers are now being viewed as the favorites to land the National League rival ace in a trade that could completely redefine our rotation. According to The Athletic, the Milwaukee Brewers are prepared to listen to trade offers for star pitcher Freddy Peralta this offseason, and guess who's at the front of the line? That's right, Los Angeles. Industry buzz has the Dodgers as the most likely destination for this elite arm. It's no surprise to anyone following this team. The Dodgers have the strongest farm system in baseball and a front office that never hesitates to pull the trigger when opportunity knocks. We're always hunting for another ace-level arm to strengthen a roster already built to compete at the highest level. The situation gets even more interesting when you remember it was Los Angeles who eliminated the Brewers in the NLCS. Now, the Dodgers might be heading back to Milwaukee not to knock them out, but to negotiate for their ace. Christopher Klein of Fansided has no doubt, calling the Dodgers the frontrunners and describing this potential move as a perfect mix of ambition and opportunity. Klein got straight to the point. The Dodgers have the best farm system in MLB, unlimited spending power, and an insatiable desire to dominate baseball. You can bet they're making that call about Peralta. Our rotation is already strong with Roki Sasaki, Tyler Glasnow, and Blake Snell at the top, but anyone who followed the season knows that injuries and workload management were real issues. The need for another durable, top-tier starter became clear. Peralta, at 29 years old, fits that profile perfectly. He finished the season with a 2.70 ERA and an impressive 204 strikeouts over 176.2 innings. Now let's look at Milwaukee's side. The Brewers have built a solid reputation for trading star players before their contracts expire. That strategy has paid off well in the deals involving Corbin Burnes and Devin Williams. Peralta is under team control through 2026 with an $8 million option, putting him in a similar crossroads. Peralta himself showed maturity about the situation after the NLCS loss. He said he's been in Milwaukee for a long time and loves the city, the team, and everyone there. But in the end, he understands this is a business and anything can happen. If the Dodgers manage to pull off this trade, it would be a luxury move, not a necessity. But what a luxury it would be. This could make our rotation the best in baseball, without question. And there's more. The deal could also allow Sasaki to take on a high-leverage bullpen role, giving Los Angeles massive strategic flexibility for 2026 and beyond. For Milwaukee, trading Peralta to the very team that ended their season would sting, no one denies that. But with the Dodgers' deep farm system and Milwaukee's long-term payroll concerns, this deal could make sense for both sides. Milwaukee has become known for bold off-season trades. A few years back, they moved Corbin Burnes, and it paid off. Last winter, they traded Devin Williams, and again, it worked. This winter, Freddy Peralta is the centerpiece of trade discussions. He's entering the final year of his contract and finds himself in a situation nearly identical to that of Burnes and Williams. Milwaukee will probably resist the idea of trading Peralta to the team that knocked them out of the NLCS, but the reality is clear. The Dodgers can likely make the best offer. And at least they wouldn't be keeping him within the division. Los Angeles might not have to completely empty its farm system since the rotation is already strong, which could give teams like New York or Boston a shot. Still, pitching was a real concern during the regular season, and health is never guaranteed for this group. It's hard to imagine the Brewers wanting to strike a deal with the Dodgers like this, but Milwaukee's goal is simply to get the best possible return. If Los Angeles is willing to part with the prospects Milwaukee desires, this idea has real traction. The Brewers should, and likely will, move on from Peralta. A long-term extension seems unlikely, so flipping him for 3 or 4 quality prospects would be their best option. For the Dodgers, it would mean shifting Sasaki into a closer role and forming the best rotation in baseball, a pure luxury move that would leave the rest of the league looking up, trying to catch us. Now we close with the most explosive name of them all, Kyle Tucker. And this one, Dodgers fans, would be the cherry on top. As the Dodgers gear up for another run toward the World Series, the off-season rumors are heating up far from the field. And the name dominating the conversation is Kyle Tucker, the #1 free agent on the market. The Dodgers have already proven they're not afraid to outspend anyone when it comes to signing premium talent. With a payroll that already surpasses $314 million after taxes, adding a few more million to that total wouldn't be an issue for this organization. And Tucker is worth every penny. Let's talk about what Tucker brings to the table. He hit 22 home runs this season with a .266/377/464/line. Solid numbers, but with important context. He played through a fractured right hand early in the year and a left calf strain toward the end. His performance dipped slightly after the hand injury, which is actually a positive sign. It means his production could climb even higher next season once he's fully healthy. Imagine adding Tucker to a lineup already loaded with talent. That would be a terrifying sight for any opponent facing the Dodgers, And it would likely add more fuel to the growing calls for a salary cap in the league, because frankly, it would start to look unfair for the rest of baseball. According to Jon Heyman of the New York Post, the Dodgers are a likely candidate for Tucker, who's seeking a deal between $300 and $400 million. Since the outfield isn't as strong as other parts of the roster, Tucker could provide exactly the offensive firepower needed to complement the already star-studded Dodgers infield. Heyman broke down how it could work tactically. The Dodgers could place Tucker in right field and move Teoscar Hernandez to left, creating a potentially explosive outfield to match the most talented infield in the sport. The only drawback is that Tucker bats left-handed, which would make the lineup slightly unbalanced. But here's the most interesting part. Even though the Dodgers already have the most expensive roster in the majors this season, Heyman pointed to their efforts to sign Juan Soto last year as evidence that they may be willing to spend even more money next year. The payroll already stands at a record-setting $400 million, yet they still pursued Soto with a deferred offer deal reportedly worth around $600 million before ultimately finishing fifth among the finalists in one of the biggest free agent chases ever. That shows this organization's mindset. The Dodgers aren't just trying to compete, they're trying to completely dominate. Tucker would be another piece in that total domination puzzle, transforming an already championship-caliber team into one that could establish a true dynasty for years to come. The outfield would gain the power it's been missing, the lineup depth would become absurd, and the rest of the league would be left watching from afar, wondering how to compete with this blue monster being built in Los Angeles. Landing Kyle Tucker would be the ultimate statement of intent from the Dodgers for the next era of baseball. We're talking about turning a championship team into an absolutely unstoppable machine. Tucker wouldn't just fill a gap in the outfield, he'd elevate the entire offense to a level that few teams in modern baseball history have ever reached. The combination of Tucker in right field and Teoscar Hernandez in left would create one of the most feared formations in the game. Any opposing pitcher looking at that lineup would find no relief anywhere. From the first to the ninth batter, it would be relentless pressure, explosive power, and consistent production. The infield is already the most star-studded in baseball, adding this kind of outfield talent would be almost unfair. Financially, it would be a massive investment between $300 and $400 million. But for an organization that already tried a $600 million deal for Soto, it shows there are no limits when it comes to chasing greatness. The Dodgers aren't worried about saving money, they're focused on building something historic. The timing is perfect, too. Tucker would arrive fully recovered from the injuries that hampered his season, ready to show his full potential in a championship environment surrounded by the best infrastructure baseball has to offer. It would be the ideal scenario for him to explode statistically as the Dodgers chase not just another title, but the beginning of a true dynasty that could dominate the league for the next 5 years. Now we close with the most impactful name of them all, and this one is on another level. We're talking about Tarik Skubal. An MLB insider is already discussing what a potential Dodgers trade package could look like in a blockbuster deal that might redefine what it means to have a dominant rotation. If a general manager has the opportunity to make a move to get Tarik Skubal on his roster, he's not going to think twice before picking up the phone. We're talking about one of the 2 or 3 best pitchers in baseball right now. At just 28 years old, the guy still has plenty of elite years ahead of him. In 2025, he posted a 2.21 ERA and a 13-6 record as a starter in the regular season. While a Skubal trade might shock the baseball world, it's not as far-fetched as it may seem at first glance. The situation is interesting because Skubal has just 1 year remaining on his contract, which puts the Detroit Tigers at a critical crossroads. They need to decide whether to extend him, trade him now, or wait until the 2026 trade deadline. Skubal is likely to command a massive salary, and if the Tigers plan to let him go, moving him now for a large haul of players and prospects could be their best option. But what would it take to acquire the likely first back-to-back American League Cy Young winner since Pedro Martinez in 1999 and 2000? Mark Feinsand of MLB.com analyzed the February 2024 trade between the Brewers and Orioles for Corbin Burnes as a point of comparison. According to several executives, the Tigers should expect a bigger return for Skubal than what the Brewers got for Burnes. That deal included left-hander DL Hall, infielder Joey Ortiz, 2 top 100 prospects, and a competitive balance round a draft pick. And for Skubal, the price would be even higher. As expected, when elite talent hits the market, the Dodgers could be a serious contender to acquire Skubal. But such a move would not come cheap. Feinsand was blunt: a deal with the Dodgers would likely have to include outfielder Josue de Paula, Los Angeles' #1 prospect and the 13th ranked prospect in all of baseball. The Dodgers currently have 7 players on MLB Pipeline's top 100 list, not to mention a young, affordable star like Roki Sasaki. That gives President of Baseball Operations Andrew Friedman plenty of trade chips to work with if he decides to make an already loaded pitching staff even richer. Now let's stop for a moment and imagine this. The hypothetical addition of Skubal to a rotation already featuring Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Shohei Ohtani, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto would be absolutely terrifying. It could easily be considered one of the most dominant pitching rotations in MLB history. No exaggeration here, we'd be talking about 5 ace-caliber pitchers, each capable of shutting down any lineup on any given day. The cost would be substantial, no doubt. Giving up Josue de Paula, the top prospect in the system, would hurt. But when you have a chance to add a talent like Skubal, a Cy Young winner in his prime, during a championship window like the one the Dodgers have right now, you have to consider it seriously. Friedman has always shown he's willing to make the tough moves when the moment calls for it, and this would be exactly the kind of defining moment that builds dynasties. Looking at these 4 potential moves together, it's clear the Dodgers aren't just trying to maintain their standard of excellence. They're trying to establish a new level of dominance in modern baseball. Jarren Duran solves the immediate outfield issue with elite speed and 3 years of control. Freddy Peralta adds depth and durability to a rotation that needs more stability. Kyle Tucker transforms an already strong lineup into something historic. And Tarik Skubal would be the final piece that could create possibly the most dominant pitching rotation baseball has ever seen. Each move has its own individual merit, but together they tell a bigger story. The Dodgers are attacking every weakness exposed last season: the outfield that faltered in the playoffs, the pitching that struggled with injuries and workload management, and the need for more consistent power at the plate. No area is being overlooked. The reality is that not all of these moves will happen. Pulling off all 4 acquisitions in a single offseason would be nearly impossible. But the fact that the Dodgers are being mentioned as legitimate contenders in every one of these discussions shows the respect and fear this organization commands around the league. If they manage to land even 2 of these 4 players, the Dodgers would enter 2026 as overwhelming favorites, not just to win the World Series, but to begin an era of domination that could last half a decade. The rest of the league is watching, calculating, and trying to figure out how to compete with a machine that just keeps getting stronger. This is the Dodgers offseason, everyone. Unlimited ambition, infinite resources, and one single goal: to build something baseball has never seen before. And from where we're sitting here at Dodger Stadium, it looks like this journey is only just beginning. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think? If you could choose just one of these 4 players to wear Dodger blue next season, who would it be and why? Let us know in the comments which acquisition you believe would have the biggest impact on the next championship run. Until next time, Dodgers Nation.